Forex market, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. It's Tuesday today. We're looking at the pound versus the New Zealand dollar. We wanted to give you an update on this one. You probably remember we had a bullish campaign here, which ended up very successfully, I have to say. But it could have been ending up much more successfully. That's the issue. So I wanted to come back and talk a little bit about what happened here, and also about what we think is going to happen and what we think we might be able to do in the near future. So let's go back to the very beginning. For us, price, the pound New Zealand dollar here became super interesting when it broke 96.78. Remember that moment? Price came up, it broke, then it broke back below, but then we saw that it didn't really catch. From the weekly perspective, it was nothing more than a bit of a spike. We liked that, and basically we established that bullish campaign right there and then. Now things have went really well, right? Price went up and we just kept, increasing the position, nice and slow, gradually just increasing the position until at one point we saw price was reacting after breaking the 200-day moving average. We saw the reaction from above. Remember that spike here, and then the second time here, and we set the 200-day moving average as kind of a mental stop loss level. And the following day, the third day, price actually managed to cross back below the moving average. We saw that as a negative sign, right? We felt that price could easily drop about 300 pip just to retest 96.78, and we definitely weren't able, we weren't willing to absorb such a huge downside correction, right? The pound New Zealand dollar is a very volatile pair. We had to keep that in mind. Plus, we already had a big profit because we were we pushed this position to 50%. We had 5 trades basically, 50% position size, pretty big, and price kind of crossed below the moving average. We felt cold feet, so to speak. So we closed the position almost entirely. In fact, we had 6 trades. We got out of 5. That's why I had the 5 number. We just left one in. So we had a huge profit taken at that point here. After I think it was like 250 pip in. So, but obviously that was a bit of a misfortunate move on our side, because price the next day just exploded upwards. And we just had a tiny position, just a tiny position in place. So we pretty much missed out on this move. You see what I mean? And then we saw price coming back down and then crossing below the moving average. That was the moment we decided to close out the rest of the position we had still open. Right? So we actually took a loss on the move below the moving average. A very tiny one, a very small one. Eventually, it was a successful position. Like I said, it could have been much more successful then. Having said that, but guys, let me say this. We think something's quite fishy here, because price was supposed to hit 202.83 where it missed it by 20 pip. Very suspicious. So because of that, we suspect that this is pure technical correction, what we see here. Just a technical correction to this upside move, and price will come back up and complete the move, complete the mission to hit 202.83, right? That's where we're coming from right now. But here's what we think is going on. We think price, when missed that 20 pip, hitting that upper section and started to turn around, we think it just went, well, the intention here was to retest 96.78 from above properly, right? Let me show you how this looks like from this perspective, the weekly perspective. You can see how it nearly touched base here with that big spike, and now it's making its way downward toward that lower section. Check it out how it looks like from the monthly perspective. Now look, this is a very reliable system. I'm talking about this key level system. We saw that before. We started to track this particular formation right here with this downside drop followed by this upside move. Take a look at this huge spike here, validating this key level system, and again on the downside validating it again, right? Then the break above 96.78, and of course the reconfirmation for that breakout, and the miss at 202, right? So we think price will resume and will complete the move, probably even penetrate the upper section. But that's, you know, that's to come. We'll have to see. We'll have to wait and see if that's going to be what's going to be happening. Now, the only thing I want to say before we wrap this up, guys, we expect price to come to us, to come towards 96.78, right? Like you said, we think it's going to try to retest that level. If it's going to do that, we're actually going to look at this as a very interesting opportunity to pick up the pound New Zealand, right? And shoot straight for that 202.83 back to the original game plan, right? So that's what we're waiting here for with the pound versus the New Zealand dollar. And obviously we'll be back soon to follow up on this one, and we'll keep you posted. That's about that. We'll be back with the next one. Take care.